when it is that he mentioned this, because it seemed random and I just wanted to get home, so I was pleasant. But what then started to happen was the continuation of trying to make sure that I wasn't going to get any rest. The last image that I recorded on this is from 1:31 a.m. I went to bed at 12 p.m. last night. I got to sleep for 1 hour and 15 minutes before I started an entire routine that I have begun to document to effectively try to get me to go back to sleep. These are the medications that it is that I take that are related to anxiety, ADHD, and allergies. All of these are supposed to help induce drowsiness, and I've decided to take these when it is that I feel like I need more sleep, either in the morning because I've not gotten the sleep that I need, or, in this case, at around 1:30 p.m. last night. This is after about 30 minutes of not being allowed to sleep. Why? Because this bed was electrified and continued to be electrified so much that I had to use my massage gun on my feet and on my left shoulder, while it was that this abuse had basically taken the pain that happens when I try to go and lift weights and make it worse. That pain makes it very difficult to sleep. So then I did my right foot after doing my left foot. Now it's 2:22 a.m. This has been happening for over an hour. I try to go back to bed at 2:30. Unsuccessful. Why? Because I keep on getting electrocuted and nothing that I do helps. By now, the light dinner that I had after going to the gym has made me both hungry, and I try to drink tea with chamomile and lavender in it, have some cheese and some toast. And I read a book that is astonishingly heady, that I can't say is completely enjoyable just yet. All right, so now it's almost 4 o'clock, and while it is that I'm reading this book, I decide I should probably set up this lamp so that it can be turned down using an app that basically controls it to dim the light, because that light is a smart bulb. While I'm trying to set this up, the bed starts to vibrate more intensely. And basically, this reflects how this, electrocution is something that goes up and down on demand in order to make it impossible for me to, have a heart rate and anxiety level low enough for me to sleep. So this causes yet again for me to use this massage gun on my shoulder. At this point in time, it becomes very evident to me that what Nick had said at the end of the ride was basically to underhandedly let me know that the intention of what it is that I was experiencing from Saturday and then after my workout was to hopefully undermine my health by getting me sick. This has been happening since January 2023 when I go to the gym. Now, at 6:48 a.m., I start a new routine when it is that it becomes very evident that what I've been experiencing is not resulting in sleep and I'm being electrocuted at higher intensity intervals after almost going back to sleep. At 6:53 again, more intense electrocution. At 7:03 again, more intense electrocution. At 7:15 again, I basically am allowed to get sleepy enough to feel like I'm going to sleep, and just as I'm falling asleep, the electrical abuse amps up, and I do not get to fall asleep. It is supposed to piss me off. It does. Now, at the same time, sometimes when this behavior stops, a new behavior begins. And I document that differently. I document that with a screenshot, which intends to document that this is when noise is produced that is loud enough, like a door slam, for example, to make it impossible to sleep. At this point, it's 7:28 a.m. and I've been awake since 1:15 a.m. trying to fall back asleep for more than 6 hours. This image is highlighted because I am not allowed on this phone to produce text that overlays on an image that is not any other color than black. This phone behaves in a way that makes it impossible to create a contrasting font in color to the background. So I've started to basically find other ways of trying to appropriately document what it is that I've been experiencing. So I called my mother to complain about electrical abuse and door slamming. No answer. And this is basically proof of what it is that I just explained to you about what has been happening with not being able to change the font color. If I try to change the font color, when I go to select the font color, it automatically just closes. This is what I call a user experience technical snafu. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move on. Again, this is at 7:32, documentation that more noise was made, and again at 8 a.m., again at 8:08. Now this is documentation of higher electrical abuse that doesn't allow me to sleep. So now it's been basically 7 full hours of this. I try to call my mother at 8:24 a.m. about the electrical abuse while trying to sleep. More noise at 8:35. More electrical abuse at 8:38. More noise at 8:52. More noise at 8:57. Loud slamming of doors and electrical abuse at 9:11. This time, I think this was basically what was going on with like the car door and like really loud slamming that actually shook my bed while I was sleeping. And then finally, after all that, between somewhere around like 9:15, 9:30, and 1 o'clock, I get to sleep for about 4 hours, for a total of 5 hours and 15 minutes of like verified sleep. And I woke up at 1 o'clock and have been awake since. I need your help with making this stop, because when I bring this up to my mother, she doesn't seem to care enough to do anything about it. I'll explain to you in person what I've done in order to get this to end with regard to the house improvement efforts that I've taken on. I'm going to write you an email that shares a link to this video, and we'll be bringing this up during our next appointment. I will also be sharing some documents. Have a great week.